there was a moment in yesterday's game with Ketel Marte, right? And you can see he was visibly upset. So much so that his manager's out there to try to comfort.
This is during a pitching change.
Yes. And so for those that are wondering, if you're just tuning into that, it's last night's game. And initially people were wondering that the news that maybe they found out one of the players on their team got hurt and it was sad for that player. That's what the initial report was coming out there. But then it came out that during the game, a fan said an inappropriate comment. Inappropriate is an understatement. Directed at Ketel Marte involving his mother. And his mother passed away in a car accident, I believe almost 8 years ago. Yeah. And you could see how emotional that is. And you know what? One thing I just want to point out, I guess I should say to everyone here, is look, as a competitor, you understand when you go to play in different ballparks that there could be some banter, there could be some hostility when it comes to going in there, but that's supposed to be in the essence of the competition and the environment for that. It should stay within the game. When it becomes personal and it becomes something that was said to Marte, it goes beyond everything that you could possibly imagine. And there's no point in my mind where it ever can be deemed acceptable to go out there and say what that fan said to Marte. Because I think at the end of the day, too, Zach, Kevin, I know a lot of people realize this because a lot of people are coming to defense, which I love this. They're coming to defense of Marte and really condemning the behavior of the fan, which, by the way, right, the report's out, Zach, that fan's been banned indefinitely.
From all parks around Major League Baseball, not just Chicago.
And good. You know, you do something stupid like that, you say something stupid, just like for being a player, it's a blessing to be able to play Major League Baseball, even though you are paying to go watch something. Yeah, you are paying to go, but you have a right that you have to live up to be able to experience that. Because these players are out there for the entertainment, even if it is against your favorite team. And at the end of the day, let's flip it around. If someone said that to you, how would you react? Would you sit there and go, oh, man, that's just for the competition? You go, man, you know what? I'll just be blunt. That's fucked up.
Yeah.
Right? And for a guy that clearly that's going to resonate with. And people have gone through stuff, right? We've all had hardships. And I think that's the hardest thing for me to watch, guys, and I'm sure you feel the same way. I hate seeing another individual having to relive a moment that was so traumatic. And it didn't have to happen at all. And it's happening while he's at his job in front of thousands of people. And not only in front of thousands of people, this has now been broadcasted and spread virally on social media that we're talking about it. You know? You get hardened to this stuff, guys. You know, some certain players can get hardened to it. I haven't really talked about my stuff that's gone on through my life. So you guys want me to tell you a little quick thing, and maybe this can get it a little bit more of a context. And this is why, like, people can look at the perception of players, families. You grow up with luxuries, some will say. You know, so for me, I'll be honest, that was kind of in my situation, right? I had a dad, played all those games, tremendous player, meant a lot to the city, really beloved by a lot of people, right? Still is, and rightfully so. He did a lot of great things in his career on and off the field and beyond. I've heard similar things like that when I played from my high school years up into professional baseball. And I got hardened. I wish I could say that I haven't had comments like that, but I have. I've dealt with that. And one, if I'll be vulnerable here, in 2012, I just graduated high school, and about a month and a half into the summer's end of July. It was actually the day before my birthday on July 26th. My birthday was July 25th. And I got a call that my grandmother had been kidnapped. And like when you say that out loud, it sounds crazy, right? So that was one experience of all the things that I've dealt with in my life, of all the good. People don't want to hear about the stuff that happened. That happened. And I'm sitting there dumbfounded by the words that I heard. And all of a sudden, I don't know if she's going to be okay. Remember police, all that. And that sticks with you, right? Fortunately, she was found, returned home. All was okay there. Now, flash forward, I had to go play in a tournament 10 days later. Actually, less than that. It was a week. And we're playing, and I'll be fair to where it was because it's just one person in this situation. We went to go play a tournament in Pennsylvania. And it was my last tournament before going off to college. And it was a big deal. The hometown team that we played, they loved this tournament. And they sold out when their home team played. And guess who they were playing? They were playing us. And we were considered the best team in the tournament. So they sold out maybe 8,000 to 10,000 people, right? And so I'm on deck, and I'm used to the things, guys. So I get initially, hey, Ripken, you suck. You're a disgrace to your family. What's your dad think of you? You're not a real Ripken. I've heard it all. It's okay, whatever, and like you shake that off. I go into the batter's box my first time up, and I'm getting into the batter's box, and I hear, hey, sorry to hear about your grandmother. And I thought, wow, that's actually a nice comment. You know what the next comment was? Yeah, she shouldn't be in a wheelchair. She should be dead. That's what I heard while I was hitting. The umpire was like, whoa, you all right? And I said, just time. I'll just take a second. Then you try to regroup. You get back into it. Next at bat comes up. I'm in the batter's box once again. And then I hear same voice, similar voice, and goes, don't worry, boy, you're going to be next. And so you sit there, and the umpire called time. And he said, do you know where that came from? I'm like, dude, I'm watching the pitcher. I don't know what's going on back here. Right? And I wish I said I wasn't hard into that stuff. I've dealt with that my entire life. So I really wanted to make a point of this. So when I see someone like Marte struggle and see the emotion, it hurts me because I know what it feels like when someone doesn't treat you as another human. That's where this whole thing comes from. Just treat people like human. They're humans, right? That's the end of the day. I'm not trying to sit up here on a soapbox and try to say there's no place for that. Should be a given. Should be a given.